Oh boy, all right. It's been one of them days. Oh, good heck. You would think I could have the game up on the board. It'll happen in a second. Oh, heck. All right. We got the screen. We get the Switch. We're not playing Mario. Unless people vote on it later. Which will be on the, not the agenda, the slate, the docket. 1 second here. Oof. There will come a time when I'm better at getting all my things together before stream. Today is not one of them. Alright, autosave warning. After all the other warnings. Ooh, All right. Okay. So last time we had left off, Phoenix was visiting the country of Kurain, and he was met there by someone called I'll be your guide, who was charged with treason and murder immediately afterwards. Not because of that, but, well, who knows? All right, what do we got? Ooh. Okay, so, yes, we had been talking about... Yes, apparently the court process is not very well done in this country. And so we get to ask questions. What am I going to ask about the circumstances of the thing? Crime scene, the weapon, the motive. Yeah, we don't have a lot of motive that we talked about out of these things. We've seen time of death, patrol died. I'm interested in whether this murder weapon, if they actually... Well... Forced open and its contents stolen. What do I need to know more? Tell me about the motive. Like, we've been told the crime scene is a thing. We've been told... I think we've been told that they were beaten over the head with a thing. Do. Did they? No. Oh, because of the seances. Nobody knows. Okay, tell me about the motive. I'm sure they probably don't care in this country. Hey, Okami, welcome in, welcome in. What do you claim was the defendant's motive? Mr. Payne has already explained that. He wanted to sell the treasure in order to help his family with living expenses. Oh, yeah, I guess it slipped my mind. Yes, it did. So it's true what they say about royals never listening to anyone but themselves. My apologies, Your Majesty. Please let me give it one more try. Very well, if you must. Let's see, what else do I need to know more about? Okay, so we already have a piece of evidence about the crime scene. Tell me about the weapon. Mr. Payne, what was the murder weapon? The murder weapon was the treasure box itself. The empty treasure box left at the scene had a large blood stain on it. How utterly reprehensible using the sacred treasure box for murder. The murder weapon was my beautiful ass? I don't know about that.
The accused came to the treasure room with the express purpose of stealing the treasure. He climbed the altar stairs and snatched the box, ready to abscond with it. But he was discovered by Mr. Roll, who had come to the room in the course of his rounds. After walloping Mr. Roll on the head with the treasure box, the accused forced the bloodied housing open and made off with the treasure inside.
Treasure box updated in the court record. The murder weapon. Off limits to the public, the photos in the paper are the only ones of it in existence. Its contents were stolen. But the defendant is just a little boy. We established last time he's 9 years old. I hardly think he would be able to hit the victim, a grown man, on the head.
A very good point, Mr. Wright, but I'm afraid that won't help you. At the time of the crime, the accused was on the stairs leading up to the altar. The accused's elevated position would more than make up for their difference in stature. He took the high ground.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Mr. Payne, your reasoning is flawless. What an elegant argument. Hats off to you, Chief Prosecutor. Your title is obviously well earned. Well, the accused guilt is certainly conclusive. Unless there is anything else, I'm ready to announce my verdict. Very well. In that case, I find the accused...
Just one moment, Your Majesty. Don't you think you're rushing the verdict just a little bit?
I told you, I have plans to attend to, and... I'm late. It's already started. How did the time fly by so fast?
He's still stuck on that? We haven't even heard the defendant's side of the story yet. Your Majesty, the defense asserts its right to cross-examine the defendant.
Is there such a right in this country?
Huh? Did I say something funny?
Cross-examine... What do you mean by that?
What? What do you mean, what do I mean?
I seem to have some dim recollection of the process, but I can't quite recall.
And little wonder, a so-called defendant hasn't been questioned in over 20 years.
Should I even be surprised anymore? Anyway, I demand we let the defendant, or the accused, tell his side of the story.
Is that really necessary?
Of course it's necessary, Your Majesty.
What harm can it do? I say we allow the boy to speak, Your Majesty. Though I doubt he'll have anything of relevance to say.
Oh, how kind of you, Your Royal Payness.
Very well, as long as it's okay with you, Mr. Payne. I'm already hopelessly late for my class anyway.
In that case, the prosecution calls the accused back to the witness stand.
Oh, but before we do, I'd better call my wife and apologize for missing that class. Any objections?
Go for it, Your Majesty.
Accused, state your name and occupation again, if you would.
I'll be your guide.
I'm in training to be a monk, and I'm a tour guide, too.
Why me? Now, where were we?
Cross-examining the defendant, Your Majesty.
Right. Let's do that, then. At the defense attorney's insistence, I might add.
He sounds a little dispirited. His wife must have given him a piece of her mind.
Well, the defense had better get to it, and make it quick, if you please.
The defense? Mr. Wright, I didn't know you were a lawyer.
Well, I am, and I'm here to defend you, Albie. Don't worry. All you have to do is tell the truth, and you'll be all right.
You tricked me.
What?
If I knew you were a lawyer, I wouldn't have given you that tour. Give back that Nakataman I gave you yesterday.
Albie, what's gotten into you?
Don't talk to me. You disgust me.
Now, even Albie's against me. But why?
This must be a new experience for you, Mr. Wright, being loathed by a client.
Yeah, it's happened a time or two before.
Now then, accused, please give the court your testimony. The incident occurred around noon, during the break between the morning and afternoon dances of devotion. I want you to tell the court what you were doing around that time.
All right. Witness testimony. Oh dear. The accused account. The accused.
I didn't kill Mr. Roll, and I didn't steal the treasure. I'm not allowed to go anywhere near the treasure room. I've never even seen that treasure box with the green Kurai's butterfly on it.
You just undermined your entire testimony, because the only picture that anyone has ever seen is in black and white. Sorry, buddy.
When the incident happened, I was in the hallway planning out my tour route.
Were you well acquainted with the victim?
Yes, he used to chat with me whenever we ran into each other in the temple. Mr. Roll was a monk in training when he was a kid too, you know?
I bet Albie looked up to him. No, he looked down on him when he clocked him over the head with...
But he had to give that up and go to work when his family needed money. That's why he became a guard. But at least that way he could still stay on the temple. He was so proud when he was put in charge of guarding the treasure box. He even got to carry the box to the palace for the New Year's rite.
So you have seen...
The victim's parents apparently both died relatively young. So Mr. Roll had to support his younger brothers and sisters as well. But even with his job as a security guard, I'm sure things couldn't have been easy for him.
Bacon! Welcome out! Ace Attorney time indeed. It sounds like his circumstances and Albie's were very similar.
Mr. Roll encouraged me to never give up. Albie, you train hard and make sure you become a monk one day. Don't end up like me, he'd say. He was always cheering me on in my training and my tour guide business too. Why in the world would I kill a nice man like that?
Yes, I see. You expressed yourself well. Defense, now that you've heard the accused account, are you finally satisfied? If so, let's draw this to an expeditious conclusion.
But, Your Majesty, I haven't even cross-examined the defendant yet.
That wasn't the end of it. It's been so long, I don't rightly recall what this cross-examining thing is all about.
A judge who doesn't know what a cross-examination is. What fresh hell is this?
I really do wish I could remember how it works.
Should I give the judge a refresher on cross-examination?
Might as well.
Especially for all our viewers who are unfamiliar with the concept.
I guess I'd better, or we'll never get anywhere. Your Majesty, Please allow me to explain the procedure. First, we lawyers listen carefully to a witness's testimony. Then we use Present, the R button, to open the court record and examine the evidence.
And why would you do that?
To find and present, with the X button, any evidence that's inconsistent with the statements given.
Present? I certainly don't need any gifts from you.
Clearly, something is getting lost in translation with his magistrate. The point is, it's possible that a statement could contain a lie or a mistake.
But what do you do if you can't find any inconsistencies in a witness's testimony?
In that case, we may press with the L button the witness for more information. Pressing a statement might reveal new information, or even entirely new statements.
Presenting evidence is one thing, but pressing witnesses? I'll have you know, defense, that I do not allow violence in my courtroom.
Rest assured, only gentle verbal pressure is used, no physical force involved.
Well, I'm not convinced. After all, who knows what sort of tactics an attorney will resort to? One false move and I'll call the bailiff.
Yeah, something's definitely getting lost in there. For now, I should just focus all my energy on questioning Albie and comparing his statements with the information in the court record.
Cross-examination. The accused's account. I didn't kill Mr. Roll, and I didn't steal the treasure.
Hold it!
I believe you didn't do either of those things, Albie.
You do? But you're a lawyer. Of course you'd say that.
Now, there's no need for that.
But he's right. Lawyers always claim their client is innocent, even if they have to lie. Just like you're doing right now, accused.
Don't let me in with that lawyer. I'm not lying. I didn't steal anything, and I didn't kill anybody. I'm not allowed to go anywhere near the treasure room.
Hold it!
You're not allowed to go near the treasure room? Why is that?
It's a rule of the temple. They keep a lot of important things in that room. Yes, like the Founder's Orb in particular. Only the royal family may lay eyes on it.
Didn't Mr. Payne say anyone without spiritual power would go blind?
I heard you wouldn't be blinded if you just looked at the outer treasure box. But I've never been anywhere near the treasure room. I'm too scared. You've got to believe me. I've never even seen that treasure box with the green Kurayani's butterfly on it.
Button I meant to push. I'm going to press that. I know that's the wrong one. They made it obvious because this is the tutorial fight.
Hold it!
A box with a butterfly on it?
Yeah. You can see it in that newspaper article. Look. See? There's a relief of the Kura'ini's butterfly on the treasure box.
Oh, this design here carved on the back of the box. I see it now.
It's a sacred butterfly, said to carry the soul, or mitama, of the departed. Its wings form a loop that cradles the mitama and carries it to the Twilight Realm.
As you can see, there's even one depicted here, behind me, at the judge's bench.
Well, what do you know? There it is. Though it kind of looks like he's about to be carried off to the Twilight Realm himself.
Anyway, I've never even seen this treasure box. Besides, when the incident happened, I was in the hallway. Planning out my tour route.
Hold it!
Planning out your tour route?
Yes, I was planning out a tour for you.
For me? Well, thank you, Albie.
I wouldn't have done it if I knew you were a lawyer. I wasted all that time on you. Give it back!
Sadly, I'm a lawyer, not a Time Lord. Actually, as soon as he heard that's what I am, he's been like a totally different person. I certainly don't think Albie committed murder. However...
Don't talk to me. You disgust me.
That outburst earlier makes me wonder if he'd willingly tell me the truth. I'd better compare his statements and the court record carefully. If I find an inconsistency, I can present some evidence and maybe get him to open up.
Okay, so let's present at the shenanigans. The green butterfly. What green butterfly? There's no, actually there's no... You can't see the butterfly in the picture either. Butterfly could be any color.
Objection!
Oh, Albie, why would you lie to me? So, you say you've never laid eyes on the treasure box, is that right?
That's right. It's forbidden, so I'd never do that.
In that case, how did you know there was a green butterfly on it?
Huh? Because I saw a picture of it in that newspaper article?
Nope. Take another look. These photos are in black and white. You couldn't possibly tell what color the butterfly is from these pictures.
Ah!
Hold on. His bag. Did it just move?
Porkunka!
I beg your pardon?
Polkunka is a word in Karatanese that people use when they're surprised.
You just exposed a lie. So this is the power of cross-examination, is it?
I should be the one shocked here by your shocking lack of understanding.
But just a moment. If the accused was lying, then that just makes him more suspicious than ever.
And this just makes things worse for me than ever. Albie, are you hiding something? Please give only true statements. I can't help you if you don't tell the truth. Darn, I just can't seem to get him to open up to me.
So, accused, you have seen the treasure box with your own eyes after all, haven't you?
Well, maybe I did take a peek one time, a long time ago, when I was cleaning the treasure room.
But you weren't in the treasure room at the time of the incident, right?
Of course I wasn't.
Objection!
That is a lie. You were most definitely inside the treasure room on the day of the incident. And I have proof.
He does?
This was found on the floor of the treasure room. It's a scroll entitled Notice and contains a list of temple monk duties. These instructions pertain to the day of the incident.
And what exactly is that supposed to prove?
The accused fingerprints were found on the scroll.
What?
Oh no! Where is it? It's not here! I must have dropped it somewhere.
Indeed, you must have dropped it when you were busy murdering the victim.
Notice added to the court record. A notice from the day of the incident. The defendant's fingerprints were found on it.
No. Then that means Albie was there on the day of the incident. Let me look at this.
Notice, April 23. Due to the growing number of thefts around the temple, we'll be tightening security throughout. Therefore, all of the hallway shutters will remain shut for today's dance of devotion. So that's probably going to be a useful bit of information later. Just for its own sake.
Albie was there on the day of the incident.
So this is the power of cross-examination. The more the accused talks, the guiltier he paints himself.
Yes, it would seem so, Your Majesty.
He predicted my argument and had evidence ready to refute it.
How's any of that supposed to help the accused?
See, I told you can't trust lawyers and their lies.
Her benevolence already said the kid's guilty.
Just declare him guilty and get it over with.
No, everything's going all wrong. Shando, what do I do?
As I suspected, this cross-examination section has served no purpose whatsoever.
No, you're wrong.
But armed as well with her benevolence's insight, there's no reason to doubt his guilt.
Then I guess I'll just have to poke holes in this insight of hers.
By the way, this didn't prove to be very interesting at all, Mr. Payne. Nevertheless, I will now finally announce my verdict.
Wait just one moment, Your Majesty. I haven't seen this divination seance for myself yet. As the defense, I have the right to check it.
Is that really necessary? I have to get home and apologize to my wife.
I guess she really did give him the business.
Your Majesty, I enthusiastically support having Mr. Wright see the seance.
You do? And why is that, Mr. Payne?
Don't you want to see it? See the lawyer being utterly crushed by the power of the seance? And then watch him tearfully beg for mercy?
Well, now.
I'm sure it'll make up for not getting to go to that class with your wife.
It certainly does sound worth seeing. And it'll give me a juicy tidbit to tell the missus.
I've been reduced to a juicy tidbit.
Well, for an interloper, I imagine you do have to see it for yourself to be convinced. It's certainly unprecedented, but let's have the divination seance performed again. But then, right after the tearful begging, I really do have to be going.
The only tearful begging is going to come from the prosecution when we're through.
How pitiful the defense looks, still scrambling desperately for a foothold. Blissfully unaware that defeat and despair are all that await him.
There she is, her benevolence.
Your benevolence, Raifa Padma Kuraev. Thank you for coming all this way once again. Your gratitude is unnecessary. This is simply my duty. Bob-headed attorney.
Yes?
I'm told you question the veracity of the sacred divination seance. It would seem the depths of your irreverence and blasphemy are lost on you.
I'm just a foreigner, ignorant in the ways and customs of this country. I apologize in advance for anything rude I might say or do your benevolence. All I want is a fair trial for Albie.
You would imply that the trials of this country are unfair? And do explain, outsider. How verdicts founded on truths imparted by the very souls of the dead lack impartiality?
Well, so last time we tried to depend on soul's testimony, they didn't actually quite witness the crime as it happened, and so there were shenanigans. What's fair about trials with no defense and no chance for the accused to tell their story?
How dare you speak to her benevolence in that manner?
Did you hear that? Did you hear how he talked to her benevolence?
What does he know about anything? Ignorant outsider. We won't stand for it. He got to be punished.
Yes. Looks like I really stuck my foot in it this time.
Punish him!
Jam!
Punish him!
Punish him.
Silence, one and all!
Is she standing up for me?
Be not disquieted, my people. He merely expresses his opinion.
Well, well. Looks like her benevolence is going to be more reasonable than I thought.
Attorneys are ghastly creatures with souls stained black by brazen untruths. The words of a lowly worm such as that are not worth troubling yourselves over.
All right, I take that back.
None of his prattling can sway the truth of my insights. Rest assured, he will soon see the error of his foolish ways. Now then, your benevolence, the divination seance, if you would. Certainly. Nina, my robe.
O Holy Mother,
Oh, there you
we
go.
hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
Ooh.
You see, my voice acting skills just went up a notch right there. Okay. Incense. Song of Ceremony. Boy's voice.
Voice! Pain. Alright, this is the deceased, the victim.
What just happened? An image appeared in the pool.
A final message from the victim's soul, the last communication of his mitama. The divination seance has revealed this to us.
Her benevolence can use her power of spirit communion to project a victim's memories of the last few moments before their demise.
So what we saw in the pool is what Mr. Roll actually experienced?
In the victim's memories, we see the accused raising a weapon up over his head.
We didn't see the weapon. We just saw him raising stuff up. It's entirely possible that the guy was... struck from behind, and maybe the boy's voice was trying to tell him, "Hey, look behind you."
In the victim's memories, we see the accused raising a weapon up over his head. This is consistent with the findings of the police investigation.
There has to be some kind of mistake. I didn't do it. This looks bad for Albie. Really, really bad.
Now do you see why I'm the incredible pain?
More than I can express. But even if those really are the victim's last memories, what can I do with them?
There it is. There's the face of a man being utterly crushed. Oh, how long I've waited to see it. Isn't it wonderfully gratifying, Your Majesty?
Oh yes, very satisfying indeed. Now, are you finally convinced, traveller? The accused is most assuredly guilty.
Am I really the only unbiased one here?
Now then, I think we've been amused enough. If you give up now, I won't even invoke the defense culpability act against you. You'll be free to slink back to your own country with your tail between your legs.
The Defense Culpability Act? What's that?
Well, I'm assuming it's gonna mean you're culpable for defending someone for this. Probably get the same sentence as the accused. What? You mean you honestly don't know?
No. What's with all the hubbub?
Well. Not only is he a lying, black-hearted lawyer, he's also an imbecile. Your Majesty, I think you'd better explain the Defense Culpability Act to him. Yes, I think I'd better. The Defense Culpability Act, or DC Act for short, is as follows. In the name of Her Eminence, those who would support criminals will be deemed just as guilty. In other words, if you help the accused by defending him and he is found guilty, you will receive the same sentence as he.
What? What kind of insane law is that?
Under the DC Act, many an attorney has been convicted and met with a grim fate. Some went to prison, others received the death penalty. That's why there's so few in our country today who would admit to being an attorney. After all, who would defend an evil person? That's as it should be. The history of our courts proves that. Attorneys are black-souled creatures who will tell any lie to save the accused. Thus, attorneys deserve to be exterminated.
I've never felt so much hostility coming at me from so many sides. What could have happened to make everyone feel this way?
You fell right into my trap, Phoenix, right? Your win streak against me and my brother ends today. With the Seance and the DC Act on my side, I'll finally get my revenge.
So that's why he was so eager to have me defend Albie.
Chased down and humiliated back home, fate brought me to the foothills of Kurain. I thank my lucky stars that I'm chief prosecutor here now.
Defense, know that if I rule that the accused is guilty, you will go to prison too.
That explains Albie's reaction earlier.
Does it?
Defend me? Mr. Wright, what are you saying? You can't do that.
Your Majesty, isn't a prison sentence a bit lenient? After all, we're talking about treason. One should pay for such a crime with one's life.
Wow. This level of vindictiveness? Yes. I believe the death penalty might be appropriate under these circumstances. Death penalty is never appropriate.
The death penalty? No way! You're kidding, right, Your Majesty?
Do I look like I'm kidding? I'll have you put your life and your dark, tainted soul on the line here. You made me miss a class with my wife.
Death? This can't be happening.
The courts of resignation. Our courts are well known as thus. In this land where my seances provide the truth and no attorneys can intervene, criminals know that all they can do is resign themselves to their fate. Gaspin just really flat out said he wants to kill Phoenix Wright. He's been fighting for it for the past since start of trial, heck. And I'm like, really? But then, he wasn't like the judge offered prison. He's like, no, that prison is too good for him. Abolish prison too. Alright, author and lawyer, I ask you once more. Are you sure you still want to defend the accused?
There's Maya to think of in all this too. I can't just lay down my life. What in the world should I do?
Continue the defense.
Isn't this why I became a lawyer in the first place?
Larry.
To help those with no one on their side. I can't just abandon everything I believe in. All I can do now is stand firm and fight.
Well, don't hold your tears back on my account, Phoenix, right? Admit your defeat and grovel before me, the chief prosecutor, for your life.
Objection!
Even if it means being subject to the Defense Culpability Act, I will defend Albie.
What?
Mr. Wright?
The defendant insists he's innocent, and not even a divination seance should be accepted without examination.
Poor Kunga.
If I'm found guilty, you'll get the death penalty too. Even knowing that, you still want to defend me?
I don't know what happened in the past, but it looks like everyone in this country considers lawyers to be lawyers. So I can understand if you don't believe me. But I still believe in you and your innocence.
Huh?
So all I have to do is keep believing and find the truth. That's all there is to it.
Bob-headed attorney, you continue to amuse me. Though your barbed jabs are proving to be more than mere jokes.
Your benevolence. Believe me when I say that this attorney will knock your insides out.
That's enough!
Knock your insides out?
What an insolent, disrespectful attorney. You will have plenty of time to regret your folly in the Twilight Realm.
Not a wise move, traveler. Not wise at all. You should have taken the chance I offered to save your life. But you have made your choice. The Defense Culpability Act will be applied in this case. And with this verdict, you'll both soon be parting with your heads.
No! The souls of the departed speak only the truth, and I but give their messages a voice. If you think my insides contain falsehood, I challenge you to prove it.
Insight. Reifer's insight.
The accused swung whatever he was holding down on the victim's head. With the pain, the victim's vision went dark. This is when he lost his life. Still, I can't believe it. A murder after the morning dance of devotion. These are the victim's experiences just before his death.
As the victim's final memories, we can assume they aren't lies. So how do I break this down?
Allow me to relieve you of your ignorance, defense. Did you notice the words that appeared in Seance Vision?
Come to think of it, I did see words, like Song of Ceremony and Incense. Hold on.
The victim's final memories are not limited to sight alone.
Just checking here. Just after the dance, why is the song still going, I wonder, question mark.
The victim's final memories are not limited to sight alone. The sight, smell, taste, sound, touch, all is laid bare in the pool of souls.
So what Mr. Roll experienced with his 5 senses appeared in the vision as words, right?
Precisely. And by examining these sensations, we can perceive the victim's final moments with unparalleled clarity.
Works for me. I can use all the extra information I can get. Now, to find a contradiction between her insights and the seance vision. Your benevolence, I ask that you please show me the seance vision again.
Very well.
Like, we don't see anything being held, actually.
Hey.
Oh, wait a minute. Her benevolence said after the morning dance of devotion earlier, didn't she? Isn't there something off about that?
The accused, yes.
First, I'll use the left stick to make my way to the insight that seems off.
Right, so, oh, okay. So the insight's okay. Oh, I can only go in the one direction. This is going to be steered for me.
Yes, this is the insight that sounded funny. Now I'll just carefully compare this insight with the seance vision. If I notice a sensation that seems contradictory, I'll select it with the X button.
This is still not being steered by me, is it?
Oh, heck.
Do I have to do it at the correct time, or am I going to be allowed to scroll it? It's going to go by itself. Okay. Okay, so this is the view, the incense, to smell. Hold on.
This is it. This is the part of the vision that contradicts the insight. Now, I just select the sensation I think is inconsistent, and then present it.
Sight, sound, smell.
Okay.
Objection!
Wait just a moment.
Yes. What is it, Barbed Head?
You're saying the incident occurred after the morning dance of devotion, right?
That's right. What of it?
Then isn't it strange that Mr. Roll could still hear the song of ceremony?
Oh my, you're absolutely right. The gasp. Is that all that troubles you?
Huh?
What the victim heard was just a practice run of the Song of Ceremony.
Practice run? What are you talking about?
Mr. Payne, if you would.
Certainly. Allow me to explain. The incident occurred in the interval between the morning and afternoon dances. During that time, the singers were practicing in the performance hall. This happens twice a day, and that's still not enough for them.
Precisely. I was there as well, so I can corroborate the statement. I see. So what the victim heard was that practice session.
There goes my contradiction. Okay, so they were practicing in this performance hall.
The hall was shut. That's what we heard in the court record, the note. Hallway shutters will remain shut.
Possibly. That must be the room where Albie and I saw her benevolence dancing.
However, Mr. Payne, I admit one detail troubles me.
Ask away, Your Majesty.
It's a big temple. The performance hall and treasure room are quite far from each other. Could the song really be heard all the way in the treasure room?
He's right. It is a very big temple. Well, how about it, Mr. Payne?
Your Majesty, have you forgotten? There are speakers in every room of Temple, including the treasure room.
Oh, that's right.
Speakers? For what purpose?
Are you serious, Mr. Wright? They're to broadcast the sacred music of the performance hall throughout the temple.
That's why the victim could hear the Song of Ceremony in the seance vision. It was the practice run going on in the performance hall, heard over the speakers. Thank you for your explanation, Your Benevolence. That makes perfect sense, even to a feeble-minded old man like me. You think nothing of it. Now, if you wouldn't mind, could you please alter your insights for us? Very well. Insight revised. Song of Ceremony the victim heard was of a practice run through the temple speakers.
I think I'm getting the hang of this. If I point out an inconsistency, she'll update her insights accordingly. So if I keep pointing things out, maybe I can knock all of her insights out after all. I'd better find another inconsistency, no matter how small. Okay. It's a bit hard to focus on the insights with the seance vision going. I'll try using pause button, B, to temporarily stop the vision. Will I? There, I pause the vision. Okay, now I can go back and forth. I think I can use A and Y buttons to jump to different parts of the vision. Okay. I'll try moving the Mitama mark to the flashing red panel there. Okay, now that I know how to get around in seance visions, it's time to find inconsistency between the insights and the vision. Okay, between the insights and the vision. With the magic of the pause button, please. Okay, so... okay, so yeah. The accused swung whatever he was holding, whatever it was, which we don't know. Also, that isn't in the vision yet either, is it? We don't see it. Where is... Hold on. Continue play. Continue play. Be again. Okay, so we did not see him moving his... With the pain, the victim's vision went dark, that's true. And sure, we're not going to gainsay that, but we don't see anything being swung down. So let's try showing that. I don't know if it works to do that, but we'll see. Present.
Objection!
Does it work? There's an inconsistency between its insight and the victim's memories. It sounds like a no.
An inconsistency, you say? And where exactly do you see this supposed inconsistency?
Yes, defense. Please be specific.
Well, I don't know how specific I can be exactly, but I just get the vague feeling that something doesn't quite add up, you know?
No, I don't know. But I do know you're skating on thin ice, defense. By your leave, your benevolence.
Do it.
Penalty.
And here I thought I was skating so gracefully on that ice, too. I get the feeling I was way off the mark with that one. I'd better take another good look at the insights and the sensations. I doubt there are any mistakes in the victim's last memories, so that must mean one of her benevolence's insights is off.
Okay, so pain happened after he lost his vision, too. I noticed that as well. Oh, good heck. Okay, anyway,
I said, I'll use the left stick to cycle through the insights and check each one carefully. And then I'll compare the insights with the sensations and look for an inconsistency.
okay, so with the pain, the victim's vision went dark. So our trouble is that we had a moment where the victim's vision went dark before there was pain. Wait, that wasn't it. There. Right? Do I show this? Do I show the absence of pain? I don't think I can show the absence of pain. But I can show that his vision went dark. But I can't show there's no pain there. So it's either this or I have to wait till the pain appears after the... I don't know. Let's see if it works.
Objection!
It's not gonna like it.
You're saying the victim's field of vision went dark right after he was struck, correct?
Okay, I think I got it.
Of course, as anyone with eyes can see.
Well, pardon me, but I must disagree.
What?
Your benevolence, please take another look at the exact moment the victim felt pain.
Oh.
Everything goes black, and then, only after that, the victim feels pain.
Inconceivable.
This places the order of events at odds with what you say happened.
My word.
Horhunka, your benevolence. What is the meaning of this?
I cannot be wrong. My insights are beyond fallacy.
If what the defense says is true, this is a very grave matter indeed. Please forgive me, your benevolence, but I'm afraid this contradiction is something we can't simply ignore.
Objection!
Now, let's not be too hasty, Your Majesty. I think I can clear this up.
You have something to add, Mr. Payne.
1,000 apologies. It seems the prosecution has failed to make one tiny thing clear.
And that would be...
On the day of the incident, there was a power outage, a blackout in one part of the temple. And, as I recall, the crime scene was in that sector. The power outage must be why the victim's field of vision went dark. I apologize for neglecting to tell the court this detail. I'm afraid it slipped my mind.
Or rather, you knew all along and are only letting it slip now that it's convenient.
Pain. The power outage knocked out both the lights and the speakers.
Oh, there was a blackout there, was there?
Song was still going when it was dark.
Well now, that explains everything, does it not?
What do you mean, your benevolence? Please share your thoughts with us, if you would.
The blackout occurred when the accused and the victim were faced with one another. Fearing the victim would flee under the cover of darkness, the accused swiftly brought his weapon down on the victim's head.
I see. Well, that makes perfect sense, your benevolence.
So the victim was struck after the lights went out. The depth of your insight is awe-inspiring, Your Benevolence. Give her a hand, everyone.
Well done. Long may you live and prosper.
Hey, I want to live long and prosper too.
Enough applause. You flatter me.
Now, your benevolence, in light of this new information.
Yes, of course. I will alter my insight.
Okay.
One can safely assume the accused struck the victim the moment after the blackout began. Song of ceremony the victim heard was a practice run through the temple speaker. See the problem there?
So much for my inconsistency. At least I was able to draw out some new info. And with new info comes a chance to find new inconsistencies. Now to compare the insights with the vision again and see what else I can dig up.
Okay, so this is the song still going during the dark. Because I think we observed that, to be sure.
Meh, that wasn't it.
Yeah, it's still going. Wrong button. I keep...
Like, it gets dark before it gets dark. Back. Oh, hold on. Which is, I need to have the insight up as well is the problem. That's the problem. I have to have the correct insight. Hold on. Is the pain still going? Or is the song still going when the pain happens? Yes, it is. There's your problem. Alright. Ah!
Objection!
Controls. Yes, I finally found it. This is the gaping hole I've been looking for. You literally just learned this like half a minute ago. Your benevolence, as impressive as your spirit communion power is, it's not infallible.
You never know when to stop talking, do you? I hope you realize your words are an insult to all adherents of Kurainism. Defense, watch what you say. If you don't mind that tongue of yours, you won't have one left to mind.
This is the gaping hole I've been looking for. Hi! It's certainly not my intention to insult spirit mediums. But maybe I'm not the one who needs to learn when to stop talking.
What malarkey!
I believe you said a few moments ago that the victim could hear the Song of Ceremony thanks to the temple's speakers. But then, how do you explain how the victim could still hear the Song of Ceremony even after the power went out?
Oh,
This contradiction of facts can only mean that the Song of Ceremony Mr. Roll heard was not coming from the speakers.
What? Impossible.
what are you saying? That the song he heard was coming directly from the performance hall?
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's the only possible explanation.
But the scene of the crime was nowhere near the performance hall.
Right. The song couldn't make it all the way to the treasure room. Not unless... there's someone else?
You mean to say...
Yes, the treasure room was not the actual scene of the crime. It must have been somewhere else, somewhere closer to the performance hall.
What?
You can't be serious.
There is a glaring contradiction in the claims of her benevolence and the prosecution. Therefore, the defense insists that this case be thoroughly re-examined.
What? No. This is completely unprecedented. An inconsistency in her benevolence's insights. Unbelievable. We just had two of them already. Heed not his forked tongue, your majesty. These are but the claims of a corrupt lawyer, a feeble ruse from a feeble mind. But the contradiction revealed by the defense is undeniable. We can't just turn a blind eye to it.
But the defense's assertion is, in the end, meaningless. Even if the location of the murder turned out to be different, it doesn't change what we've seen of the moment of the murder.
Indeed, the accused is standing right there in front of the victim. Furthermore, the murder weapon remains raised above his head. My insights still stand.
There is still no visible murder weapon. Bark. I hate to admit it, but she's right. The seance vision still makes the situation look really grim for Albie.
I doubt even the defense can dream up an explanation as to why. The accused had his hands up over his head.
Well, this defense dares to dream of making it out of his nightmare alive.
You what?
You still insist on trying to tear down my insights, do you? You'd better be prepared to back up your claim. Remember what would happen to that tongue of yours if we find you are just wagging it.
Of course I can back up my claim. Just as soon as I think of something.
You appear to be fully prepared, defense. As the embodiment of this court, I give you permission to try and prove your claim. As long as you're willing to stake your life on it. I concur, Your Majesty. Prepare the tongue shears. Chop, chop.
Chop, chop?
Yes, let's have the bailiff fetch them. I think I saw a suitable pair in the basement. Chop, chop. Chop, chop.
Stop, stop!
I hear that lying lawyers have several tongues to spare. I'm sure he won't miss one.
Now you're just making things up. Yikes! These people are actually serious. What do you mean, these people? I'm rather attached to my tongue. Think, Phoenix, think! Other than to raise a weapon, why would Albie have held his hands up like that? Oh. I guess it... Aha! So that's why... The reason the defendant had his hands up over his head can be explained by something in the crime photo. What explains why Albie had his hands raised above his head? The gun.
Take that!
As in this seance vision, I witnessed the defendant raise both of his hands over his head yesterday.
You did? Where did you see such a thing?
When the police had their guns trained on him as they made their arrest.
Oh, are you saying...
The victim was a security guard and an armed one at that. The defense proposes that the victim had pointed his firearm at Albie. And that's why the defendant's hands were raised in the air.
Pulkunka! Pulkunka! Oh no. Oh no. She's fainted dead away.
Who would have thought the seance vision could be interpreted that way?
This is not possible. It can't be.
Not bad for a total knockout. How dare that lawyer devil go against her benevolence?
He's no better than traitorous snake Dirk.
Traitorous snake? Dirk? Who's that?
No, I can't believe it. Contradiction in one of my insights.
Again, I've already had like two of them.
There has to be some kind of mistake. I won't accept it.
And that's right, Your Benevolence, and I won't accept it either. It goes against all we hold sacred. Throw him in jail immediately for lèse majesté.
What? Yeah, you said it. Throw him in jail.
Yes, make him pay for the way he disrespected the benevolence.
These people are definitely not my fans right now. That's right. Exterminated.
Peace. Give me peace. I said peace. Now, everyone, please calm down.
Is he... Your Majesty, please assign this black-hearted attorney a... Sorry, do it.
Your Majesty, please assign this black-hearted attorney a suitable punishment.
No, I can't charge him with lèse majesté.
His Majesty.
What?
What? But why not, Your Majesty?
He was simply following the proper procedure for defending the accused. Yeah. There's nothing unlawful about that.
But Your Majesty, don't you want to wrap this trial up quickly? Why not just give your verdict? Then you can go home and make it up to your wife.
We can't end the trial now, not when we've just learned new information about the case.
Your Majesty, not you too. You would honestly entertain the idea that my insight contains a contradiction.
Again, bang. Truly, it is shocking. In the 20-plus years since the DC Act went into effect, such a thing has never occurred. To be honest, I didn't want to believe it either. But with his life on the line, the defense pointed out an inconsistency. And it is our duty to scrutinize it to the satisfaction of the law.
You dare go against the royal priestess, you non-believer.
No, my faith is as strong as ever. But I have a duty to make a fair ruling in this trial. If you insist on interfering with that process, Your Benevolence, I'm afraid I must request your removal from this courtroom, royal priestess or not.
What? Have you no?
Your Benevolence? Please acquiesce in this, Your Benevolence.
If looks could kill.
I won't forget this offense, barbed head. I do not admit defeat. I won't.
Bailiffs, please see Her Benevolence out.
Your Midtama will face due retribution in the Twilight Realm. The demons there they'll pluck the barbs right off your stupid head. I hope your suffering will be super duper painful.
This is Phoenix, right? So she's probably like 12, right? $14! The Kuraianist priestess and Grand Princess of Kurai. Her divination seances show the last moments of the dead. Raifa Padma Kurai, age 14.
And I hope they throw you into a lake of burning fire. Yeah, and then...
I guess she's still just a teenager after all.
Now then, defense. Mr. Light, was it?
That's right, Your Majesty. Magistrate Phoenix Wright.
Of course. Mr. Wright, my apologies. Well, now that we have this newly uncovered fact, I suggest we proceed with arguments.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Yes, but do not misunderstand me. This doesn't mean I trust you completely. I'll be keeping a close eye on you, so don't even think about lying to this court.
I understand, Your Majesty. Sure, maybe now we can finally run a real trial.
Arguments, Your Majesty? Very well, I accept your challenge.
What's with him?
Oh, the look on your face, Mr. Wright. It's just too hilarious.
What's so funny, Mr. Payne?
The defense still doesn't get it. The truth here on Earth is gonna bury him and his case instead.
Going to put up a poll to see if I'm going to assume nobody actually wants to switch games. But this is the way that we're going to run things now. And we're going to keep playing this one if it wins.
The truth he unearthed is gonna bury him in his case instead.
What do you mean by that, prosecutor?
I told you, it's Chief Prosecutor.
Yes, because that's the thing to focus on right now.
The defense is digging its own grave. Consider this, your majesty. Why would the victim, a security guard, point a gun at the accused?
Oh.
Oh, indeed, because the accused was about to commit a theft. It's the only logical explanation.
What? That does sound pretty logical, actually.
It doesn't help the accused situation at all. If anything, it makes him look even more guilty.
Yes, I have to agree.
Allow me to spell out this truth the defense didn't bother to think through. Mr. Roll came across the accused just as he was trying to steal the treasure. The guard pointed his gun at the accused, and just when the power went out, the accused murdered the victim and hid his body in a treasure room.
Why is the victim's hand bloody? Question mark.
A hand truck for moving heavy treasure around is stored in the treasure room. The accused could have easily moved the body with that.
And after all that hard work to knock down those insights, I'm backed into the old familiar corner once more.
Mr. Wright, do you have a rebuttal?
I'm drawing a total blank here.
I hope you're ready to climb that scaffold.
I
asked you a question, defense.
I've got nothing. I can't think of any grounds for an objection. The only thing to do at this point is ask the defendant himself what happened. But I don't know if Albie will cooperate with me or not. Albie? Will you tell us what really happened?
You don't have to say anything, accused. Fall for his evil trap, and you'll only dirty your own soul.
Albie, you have to tell me the truth. I can't help you unless you do.
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry.
Why? Why won't he trust me? Is this it? Is this the end? For both of us? Tune in next. Maya, I'm sorry. They're hiding her face from us.
I never met a real lawyer before. Everybody always told me they're bad. Bad people who help dirty criminals go free. I never thought a lawyer would actually try to help me. Would actually believe in me. Would risk his own life for me. I never would have even imagined it.
Albie?
So, that's why I lied. To try to save myself. But I'm not going to lie anymore. If you believe in me enough to put your life on the line, then I'm going to believe in you too.
What?
Allow me? Allow me to explain.
Now we're talking. Time to finally get to the bottom of things.
And to be honest, I went into the treasure room lots of times to look at the treasure box. Even though the temple told you weren't allowed to go anywhere near it. Yes? I'm sorry. Mr. Roll even saw me once and scolded me. But that box is so beautiful. The way it glows in the dark, I couldn't help myself.
Oh, does it? Wait, it glows in the dark?
That's right. It's covered in this special mineral called fluorinite that makes it glow. It's absolutely breathtaking. It's really a shame they don't put it on display for the public. Can you imagine how many people would go on night tours of the temple if they did?
Tour guide. If only he applied such passion to telling me the truth earlier. Treasure box updated in the court record. The murder weapon. It was forced open and its contents were stolen. Glows in the dark. Which should invalidate the whole rest of the thing with the darkness. Bark. I mean, it made sense in the first point where they thought that it went dark because he went unconscious. But after that, cat should have been out of the bag.
The day of the incident, I was on my way to the treasure room again. I ran into Mr. Roll on the great stairs.
So those were not the treasure room stairs in the seance vision?
No, they were the great stairs that connect to the hallway.
Makes sense. The vision wasn't clear enough to show us what was at the top of the stairs. Temple diagram added to the court record. Thank you. A diagram depicting the temple treasure room area.
All of a sudden, Mr. Roll drew his gun and threatened me with it. I quickly put my hands up. Mr. Roll, he acted so scary. For some reason, he had his scarf over his mouth. I couldn't read his expression at all.
Well, we did confirm that it... I mean, they know that it's him by him being dead. Wouldn't it be something if he was held up by someone else altogether?
For some reason, he had his scarf over his mouth. I couldn't read his expression at all. Just then, power went out. So I took that chance to hightail it out of there. I ran for my life. Even now, when I try to think back on it, all I can remember are the gun and the piercing look in Mr. Roll's eyes. That must have been when I dropped the notice scroll.
Which means someone else brought it to the treasure room, along with Mr. Roll's body. Did Mr. Roll say anything to you when you ran into him on the stairs? What is it, Albie?
I have no idea why, but he asked me a strange question. Did you steal it, he said.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I didn't say all this before. I didn't think anyone would believe me.
So Roll already knew that it was stolen, apparently. That or he was conspiring with and thought that he was Bark.
A grand speech. One that confirmed my suspicions that you were the thief.
Objection!
It's possible the victim simply misread the situation.
Objection!
Where there's smoke, there's fire, as they say. The victim must have had good reason to be suspicious of the accused.
Yeah. No. People with guns and an obligation to do what they think is policing do not always have the best track record. Why does every new piece of information have to seem so incriminating?
Shadow. What do I do, Shadow?
And what better reason to suspect the boy than seeing the treasure box in his hands?
That doesn't actually make sense. If he was holding it Why would Ro ask that question? Why are you holding it? Or did you steal it? I don't know.
In the course of his rounds, the victim must have noticed the treasure had been stolen. And then, just after that, he ran into the accused. I'll be your guide. No, that's not what happened. Therefore, the one who stole the treasure and killed the victim can be none other than the accused. Meep.
Le gasp. What now?
Shadow! Hey, Shadow!
Oh, Shadow. Okay.
Down, boy.
Well, what do we have here?
I'm sorry about this. This is my dog, Shadow.
You nearly gave me a heart attack.
So that's what was making his bag move.
Can't you quiet that yappy mutt down? Shadow says that Mr. Roll made a mistake.
You can understand him.
Don't tell me this is a surprise witness for the defense.
We'll be getting the hat trick of animal witnesses.
I beg your pardon. You're not thinking of cross-examining an animal, are you?
Again? Of course not, Your Majesty. Not this time, anyway.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I thought I'd have to reassess my assessment of your sanity for a second there.
I think I'd better reassess my strategy fast. I have to somehow show that somebody else could have struck the victim, or we're sunk. While it's true that the defendant was standing in front of the victim when he died, it doesn't mean that somebody else couldn't have struck the victim at that time.
If you're going to go that far, then I hope this means you have another angle of approach ready. Well, I mean, the murderer must have.
Exactly. I mean, who but the accused, standing front and center, could have done it? Unless you can back up your claim, it's nothing more than conjecture.
Again, the picture shows blood on the back of his head.
Okay, come on, Phoenix. I know I can think up something convincing. Where else could the victim have been struck from?
Behind?
Take that!
With the defendant standing in front of the victim, isn't it possible that the victim could have been struck from behind?
From behind, you say? I see. Yes, I suppose it's not outside the realm of possibility.
Good. Now at least I have some breathing room.
But who do you suppose it could have been?
Oh, the true culprit, naturally. The one who actually committed the theft and murder.
The true culprit. And I suppose you have a true timeline of events to go along with that.
I should have known I'd have to explain everything. Alright, if we assume the true culprit struck the victim from behind, then that means... hiding in the storeroom? After going to the treasure room and stealing the treasure, the true culprit tried to escape. But then Mr. Roll appeared, making his rounds. I imagine the culprit then quickly hid in the storeroom at the other end of the hallway.
You're grasping at straws, Mr. Wright. Admit it, you have nothing but baseless conjecture.
I'm going to look for something to base it on right now. Albie, when you ran into Mr. Roll on the highway, was there anyone around the storeroom area?
I don't know.
Doggo!
There might have been somebody there, but I couldn't see. I was only halfway down the stairs, so I couldn't see the ends of that hallway.
I see. Swing and a miss.
Oh, the shadow says that someone was there.
I see. Thank you for that. Too bad his testimony is inadmissible. You think this is a joke? Maybe the defendant didn't happen to see this other person, but that doesn't mean the true culprit couldn't have been there in the hallway.
Objection!
Your desperate floundering is getting hard to watch. But I will enjoy watching you think.
What are you talking about?
Unfortunately for you, only the accused and the victim were there in that hallway at the time of the incident.
How can you continue to make that assertion?
Because there was a witness, a very reliable eyewitness.
What? But. Someone who doesn't count as someone else who was there?
Your Majesty, the prosecution would like to call its witness to the stand.
We're calling an eyewitness to the stand. It's been decades since that's happened.
And unlike the defense's witness, you can rest assured that there are no pets involved.
That was a low blow.
Very well, I'll allow it. And now, for something we've not heard in quite some time, bring the witness to the stand. Yes. The actual culprit.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Peace, love, and understanding's the name. I'm like Temple's head monk. Can you dig? Oh, if it isn't instructor understanding, you're the eyewitness.
Instructor?
Not only is Mr. Understanding Temple's head monk, but he's also a renowned Damalan expert.
Sorry to have to ask, but what's a Damalan?
Check it. Here she is, my sweet serenader. My one and only. Groovy, right? You heard our sultry sounds once before, brother. Wind dry, gun, and tiger. Bye.
Ooh. That's the song from the Dance of Devotion.
Right on, brother. The song of ceremony. Playing this tune together is a precious gig from me and my girl here, we dig.
The Song of Ceremony. The song that was playing at the time of the murder.
Oh, Holy Mother, may the righteous sounds of my Damalan serve as my offering to you. Wonderful. A great performance as always. This is my thing, you know. My bag. I make instruments speak, baby. By the by, Magistrate Bumps. No Damalan class today. No, I'm afraid this trial has grown into overtime, thanks to the lawyer over there.
The class the judge wanted to attend was a Damelin lesson.
Well, you know what they say, baby. Never trust the lawyer man. The transgressors against the Holy Mother have to be brought to justice.
Thank you for your cooperation, Mr. Understanding. As the treasure's keeper, you must have been shocked to learn it had been stolen.
Yeah, man. That was not cool.
Keeping the treasure safe is one of your duties, Mr. Understanding.
That's right, brother. This here is the one and only treasure box key. And I keep it on me at all times, can you dig? But the sneaky thief went and cracked open that sucker anyway. Total bummer, man.
So that's the key to the treasure box, is it?
You know it, baby. It's called the Mangatama key, and it's a historical artifact to boot. It's been passed down from head monk to head monk at temple to temple.
The Mangatama key, huh?
Mangatama key added to the court record. The sole key for opening the treasure box. Understanding keeps it on his person at all times. And now someone's jacked the treasure on my watch. It's a real buzzkill, man. How am I ever gonna face her holiness again? Oh, Holy Mother, please find it in your infinite mercy to forgive me. Please guide this lost and humble lamb.
Why do I always get the far-out ones?
Mr. Understanding, you witnessed the accused and the victim heading to the treasure room.
You know it, baby. Best believe I scoped that tiny transgressor. Would you please give the court your testimony regarding what you saw? To bring justice against the transgressor, man. Yes, of course, I'll do all I can. In the name of her holiness, I vow to sing. Now with the truth I swear to bring. Hit me. Witness testimony. What I saw, baby. After the morning dance of devotion, to go back to my chamber, I got the notion. Don't you know my chamber's on the way to the temple's treasure room? Hey, hey. And it's my footsteps I can quite clearly hear. If anyone to the treasure room goes near, Albie was the only one. Albie was the only one. For the blackout, one other than roll. Only Albie to the treasure room did stroll.
Tell me I was hallucinating just now.
Like, can you believe Mr. Roll bit the big one after that? Harsh, man.
I share your sentiments. You were the one who discovered the victim's body, weren't you, Mr. Understanding? Understanding.
What? You found the body as well? He really is a key witness then.
That's right, brother. After the blackout, I went to reset the breaker and give power back to the people. The circuit box is near my chamber, so I'm always the man for the job, you feel me?
The breakers are in the first floor hallway in front of the storeroom.
On the way, I got the whiff of something funky. Blood, man. Really harshed my mellow. I knew something wasn't kosher, so I swung by the treasure room to see what's what.
And it was like, whoa, man. There was poor Mr. Roll, dead as a doornail. Temple diagram updated in the court record. A diagram depicting temple treasure room area, okay. With the brick.
In the interval between the end of the Dance of Devotion and the blackout, the only ones who went to the scene of the crime were the victim and the accused. So you see, Mr. Understanding's unassailable account is what led to the accused's arrest.
Hold it. Isn't it possible that the murder took place before the end of the Dance of Devotion?
I'm afraid it's not possible. The victim was in the performance hall until the very end of the dance.
He was?
Would you like some proof? How is this? A photo of that morning's Dance of Devotion, taken by a tourist.
My, what graceful dancing. I can almost hear the sound of Mr. Understanding's Damelan now.
Payne's right. There's Mr. Roll on duty.
Never underestimate the incredible pain.
So in addition to Rifa's insights, he had backup evidence lined up too, huh?
Dance of Devotion photo added to the court record. A picture of the stage shows Roll on guard duty in the audience. Hold on. He's not wearing his scarf the same way. I mean, yeah, he had it pulled up over his face after bark, bark, bark. But to go and, like, fold it differently, yeah, that's a shenanigan. I don't know how dispositive that is. But that is not the same cut of scarf. That's like a handkerchief. A square corner. Well, this is more of a winter scarf kind of thing. Anyway, as head monk, my monks in training are like my own kids, like family. Can you dig it? I should have taught her a bit better, man. Before Her Holiness, the Holy Mother. Oh, howdy, confess your sins, my young brother. Head monk, understand then? I didn't kill Mr. Roll, so I don't have anything to confess to the Holy Mother. What? Bogus, little man. Your faith is weak, like a wet paper bag. Are you feeling me? Spare the rod, hey baby. Spoil the child, not maybe. I don't think Koreanism admits Christianity. For you to go quoting, Her Holiness is magnanimous, so if you confess your guilt, she'll forgive you in the Twilight Realm. I don't suppose she could forgive him in this realm first? Defendants, please begin your cross-examination. What I saw, baby. After the morning dance of devotion, to go back to my chamber, I got the notion. Okay, so we're back to the prayer.
Hold it!
I have a question.
Lay it on me, man. How dare you interrupt the performance of the great peace, love, and understanding? I was really enjoying that.
Sorry, but you know, there's something about that name I can't put my finger on.
What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? You had a question for me, brother?
You were playing something during the Dance of Devotion, weren't you?
You know it, baby.
I was playing my beautiful girl right here, this damn alive. In offering to Her Holiness, I play the music and singers sing the song of ceremony. Mr. Understanding's playing is the best in the kingdom. It must please Her Holiness greatly. Now then, could you continue with your testimony, Mr. Understanding? For the Holy Mother, I keep on trucking. This damn land still needs some plucking. Don't you know my chamber's on the way? To the temple's treasure room, hey, is it really? I have no idea where. No, it is, well... On the way is kind of a vague, on the way from... No. Like... Sure, if you're coming from the performance hall, you're going past. I don't know if I would call that on the way. Okay, whatever.
Hold it!
Could you please point out one more time where your chamber is located?
Yeah, man. No sweat. My chamber is on the way from the performance hall to the treasure room.
So anyone going to the treasure room would have to pass by Understanding's chamber.
Give peace, love, and a chance. Any small footsteps I can quite clearly hear, if anyone to the treasure room goes near.
Hold it!
Even from inside your chamber, you can still hear what's going on outside.
Temple is a groovy old building, built from Mother Nature's finest. You can hear a pin drop through the wooden walls, you dig?
And why are there speakers for everything? In an old building like that, I guess the walls must be pretty thin.
And that's how Mr. Understanding could know the culprit's movements. It's all thanks to the Holy Mother's divine protection.
Right on, my man. I dedicate this testimony to Her Holiness.
The way that instrument sounds, it's giving me flashbacks to playing Minotaur Hotel.
Albie was the only one. Albie was the only one.
Hold it!
How could you tell it was Albie just from the sound of some footsteps?
Albie is practically family, man. The smooth groove of his shoes are easy to pick out.
But how do you know he went to the treasure room? Didn't you think it was possible he went to the storeroom at the other end of the hall?
No way, man. I saw him with my own two eyes.
You saw him?
In the treasure room? This you can believe. My peepers peeked the sneaky sneak out me.
And tell us where it is you stood when you saw the accused, if you would.
When I heard the footsteps, I looked out the window.
Oh, heck. It's three-dimensional now.
From my window, I can see the window of the first floor hallway, across the courtyard, you dig? And through that window, I saw Albie walking into the treasure room.
Should I have him add that statement to his testimony? I mean, obviously. Could you please add that statement to your testimony, Mr. Understanding?
You got it, brother. Through the window I did spy, but loudly with my own eye.
Hold it!
Through the window, you say?
That's right, brother. There's a courtyard outside the window of my chamber. Across the courtyard, I can see the window of the hallway to the treasure room, man.
Judging from the diagram, I guess that's plausible. So are these the shutters that were closed?
Hallway shutters.
Judging from the diagram, I guess that's plausible.
The view of the courtyard from your chamber, how nice that must be. I bet it's beautiful at this time of year with the Kurainis butterflies flitting about. You know it, Pops. I often look out into the courtyard while playing my domino. And it goes a little something like this. Albie was the only one. Albie was the only one.
Hold it!
Ah, I already hit that one.
Why not get a skip button? I mean, yeah, back. Okay, back. Okay, here we go. Before the blackout, one other than roll. Only Albie to the treasure room did stroll.
Hold it!
How can you be so sure that no one else was there?
Well, man, you lawyers are as uptight as they say.
Isn't it possible that someone else could have snuck past?
The answer, my friend, is squeaky wooden floorboards, baby. They make such a racket, not even the quietest cat can sneak by me, dig? Yes, that makes sense. And all of that just now is simply more of the attorney's unfounded suspicions, I see. That's the truth, baby. It's all that I say. The truth is all, it's everything. Words of wisdom, words of truth. Baby tooth, forsooth, phone booth.
Much thanks to Mr. Understanding. Let's bring an end to defense grandstand.
You're not stopping me.
Until my client goes free.
That's poorly done, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Why am I singing?
Right on. Even the lawyers joining in, baby. Everybody's starting to feel the groovy vibe of my far-out rhythm.
I refuse to let him run this show. I think I found the flaw I've been looking for. Understanding was in his chamber on the second floor. But there was something that definitely should have been blocking his view.
Really? Albie was the only one. Alright, so... Abba-da-baba. Windows, you say? Okay. Yeah. I think I'm going to show this. I don't think this is the time for it, but I'm going to show it anyway. I don't know. I don't feel...
Objection!
Yeah. There's something off about that, Mr. Understanding. My music is off. I'm sorry you feel that way, man. Maybe this vibe ain't top of the charts where you're from. What's your poison? Orchestra? Jazz? Soul? There's nothing wrong with my ears, witness, but something's not quite right with your eyes. Mr. Understanding, you've been lying to this court. Now, why would I lie? Got nothing to hide. Truth and truth alone is all I say. Lying dog, not lying in my thing. I contend otherwise. Do you recognize this object, Mr. Understanding? It's Temple Notice, man. What of it? In this notice, the following instruction to the temple monks is written. All of the hallway shutters will remain shut for today's dance of devotion. What you talking about, Phoenix? I'm talking about the fact that from your chamber, you couldn't have seen anyone going into the treasure room through those shutters. Gah. Looks like you didn't get the memo. No way. I don't believe it, man. If you don't believe it, why don't you read the notice for yourself? Let's see. Something will, something for, something. You don't read the language, do you? Is that your idea of reading? I'm not so hot at reading Kurai's, man. I usually get one of the other monks to read stuff for me, you know? Doesn't that make your duties as head monk a little difficult? Hey, cut me some slack, man. I only moved to this country 6 months ago. That's quite recent, isn't it? So, how did someone who's only been here 6 months become head monk of a temple? Huh. The hydration.
How little you understand. Religious faith can't be measured in months or years. I've only been an adherent of Huraianism for 3 months myself. The Holy Mother's teachings really spoke to me, prompting me to stay in this country.
Or was it the fact that there are no lawyers here that spoke to you, Mr. Payne, I don't know just how you feel. Her Holiness's teachings spoke to me too. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Brother Dumb and Brother Dumber. Well, I know why Payne suddenly became a believer in Kuraianism, but could Understanding have had an ulterior motive for becoming a believer too? Mr. Understanding, were you really in your chamber as you claim? What? Hey, be chill, brother. Weren't you instead somewhere else?
Objection!
Mr. Wright, what kind of nonsense are you spouting now?
According to Mr. Understanding's testimony, he saw Albie with his own eyes. Therefore, is it really nonsense to suggest he could have seen Albie from somewhere else?
Well,
Do you have a theory in defense? Do you know where Mr. Understanding was, if not in his chamber?
If he wasn't in his room, then... If Albie had gone down the hallway toward the treasure room, there were only a few places you could have seen Albie from. I do have a theory, Your Majesty. Let's say the witness really did see Albie going toward the treasure room. What then? The defense proposes that this is the only place he could have been to see Albie go down that hall. You're in the hallway by the breaker? Perhaps?
Take that!
There, but you just suggested earlier that that's where the true culprit might have been.
True. But no matter how I look at it, this is the only place Understanding could have been.
Mr. Foreign Lawyer, don't tell me. Are you accusing Mr. Understanding of being the true culprit in this case?
Jacques. Yes, Your Majesty. I contend there's a strong possibility this witness is the murderer. I saw the intro video.
Objection!
How dare you be so disrespectful? First you criticize her benevolence as insight, now you accuse the head monk of murder?
Objection!
This is the only place the witness could have been. If he was here, he could have struck the victim down from behind and moved his body to the treasure room.
That's nothing but groundless conjecture.
And there's one more thing. Do you remember what was said in the opening argument?
The opening argument?
During that argument, it was suggested that Albie used his position as monk in training to get his hands on the treasure.
That's right. And what of it?
Well, why don't we try this twist on for size? The thief used his position as head monk of the temple to get a hold of the treasure.
What?
What? You're joshing me, man?
The key to the treasure box has been passed down from head monk to head monk. What better position to be in if you want to steal the treasure?
You can't possibly be serious.
Does this mean you're claiming that Mr. Understanding's oath of faith is nothing but a lie designed to get him close to the treasure?
The witness hasn't been truthful in his testimony to the court. So clearly he isn't above lying. Didn't you swear to the Holy Mother that naught but the truth would you bring? In light of that, I don't think it's unfair to call your faith into question.
Objection!
This is ridiculous. Are there no limits to what his lawyer will say? I mean, lie is such a strong word. Maybe it was just a mistake?
Enough of the nervous wreck routine, prosecutor. You're just embarrassing yourself, man.
What?
What was that, Mr. Understanding? Lawyer man, you really are the lowest of the low. You've gone and said something I can't forgive. You called my belief into question, my faith in the Holy Mother. And nobody gets away with that.
Oh no. What on earth? That music, it's making my ears bleed. This is the music in my soul. Death to the lawyer. I'm the Twilight Messenger. Can't you tell? Gonna take this lying lawyer straight to hell. He's dripping with lies, running with Philistines, but send that lawyer to the guillotines. That's not how that works. That's not how any of this works. And now for something completely different. That plickety-plonk music just wouldn't let me express my rage. Your rage, huh? Isn't the real source of your anger having your lie exposed? You just don't get it. If I lied, it's because you drove me to it. All sniff around and suspicious and throwing out false accusations. Sorry, but as a lawyer, I'm afraid that's my job. Yeah, well, lawyers are crap. Keep making noise, and I'll have to use my partner here on you. I'm the one making noise? Hey, so you want to know the truth, huh? Think you can handle the truth, do you? Fine, let's see you try. Feel the heat of my brutal death beat. Savage, right? Sweating bullets, ain't you? The screams of my soul are gonna make a mosh pit out of this peanut gallery. Did he really just win the court over with that performance? Yo, geezer, I got something to testify. You ready for the howling of my soul? I call this chart topper soul screaming truth. Okay, who you calling a geezer? Again, is Phoenix right? He's probably 17? Oh, okay, all right. Age 36. And I witnessed this incident. Temple's head monk, musician of the dance of devotion. Peace, love, and understanding. Age 36. Phoenix is not in his own chart, so we do not have his current age handy. Get ready for the howling of my soul. I call his chart topper soul screaming truth. Witness testimony. Soul screaming truth. You have a good night, Bacon. Thank you for coming around. The priestess's dance had come to an end. To the music storeroom, my way I did wend. Death, truth is what you dread. Hear me shred. From my spot in front of the storeroom, I saw Albie creep to the treasure room. And trailing from behind, hound on the scent, I saw Pat roll after Albie he went. Me and my girl, innocent and sweet, back by the storeroom, can't be beat. Then I went to power, ticket to midnight, black and black is black, robbing all sight. Yeah, baby, let that soul metal flow. What is that music? I've never heard anything like it. And it's so fast, it's making my head spin. This is Dabbling Metal. Hey, yo, geezer, how those ears ring?
Don't know much about music, but I've got chills and they're multiplying. You scared, lawyer man? Run away as fast as you can.
What a wonderful rhythm. The perfect accompaniment for further deliberations. Now, Mr. Understanding, what did you go to the music storeroom for?
Hey, I went to put my Damelon away. She's my precious partner. Gotta give her a good rest after playing in the ride. But then why did you lie before? Because you sent me to hell. Huh? We all know about lawyers and their lying, loyally ways. Am I right, people? If I admitted I went to the storeroom, he'd have drummed up a false charge on me. I don't want to get sent to hell. What do you say?
He's right. That so would have happened.
Now I see why that Defense Culpability Act was passed. You feel me, Hurrah-in?
Yeah, you said it.
Is it too much to ask for a low-key trial? Now, you punks ready to rock or what? I can't hear you. I said you ready to teach this lying lawyer how we do things around here? Yeah! All right, then I'm gonna lay it on you one more time. The screaming truth of my soul. Cross-examination. Soul screaming truth. The priestess's dance had come to an end. To the music storeroom my way I did wend.
Hold it!
You say you went to the music storeroom. But how do we know you didn't go to the treasure room to steal the treasure instead? New democracy time. And on what grounds would you base that accusation? Got anything to show for it? He's right. I don't really have any proof. And yet... well, you can't prove that you didn't go to the treasure room either. You stole the treasure and were ready to make your getaway when you saw Mr. Roll. So you panicked and ran into the music storeroom. Isn't that right? Why do I feel like I'm being stabbed by icy stares from every direction? Silence is your answer, lawyer man. This audience knows the score. Just what we needed, a moment of silence to bid this lawyer's baseless claim goodbye. Why do they have to hate lawyers so much in this country? I said it before and I'll say it again, lawyer man. After the priestess's dance, I went to the music store. Death truth is what you dread. Hear me shred. How is this statement? So what exactly do you mean by death truth? It's a blade of truth that's gonna send your loyal soul to hell. See, your blood will be the last thing you ever see. I'm not sure I want to get what he's saying. I don't expect a bobblehead like you to understand. Either you get it and you feel it, or you don't. Simple as that. From my spot in front of the storeroom, I saw Albie creep to the treasure.
Hold it!
How did Albie appear at the time? Come to think of it, he was glancing around all shifty-eyed. You could tell he was up to no good. Shady, I tell you. No, Shadow. His dog is a shadow. What's that saying about people who live in glass houses?
Well, he was about to steal the treasure, so it only stands to reason he'd look furtive.
Objection!
The defendant admitted he was sneaking in to see the treasure box. Wouldn't that be why he was looking around? What's that, people? Only the Holy Mother knows the truth, you say? Bzzzt. Wrong. Peace loving knows the score, baby. From my lips to our Holy Mother's ear, an artist only sings what he saw there. In other words, my reasoning isn't good enough for Godboy here.
And what did you see next, Mr. Understanding?
Trailing from behind, hound on the scent, I saw patrol after Albie he went.
Hold it!
Something tells me this is gonna be a spectacular waste of time, but what do you mean by hound on the scent? What? You don't get it? It's always the same, y'all. Lyrics question without mercy. The more famous the song, the greater the controversy. It wasn't your lyrical sense I was questioning. I say hound on the scent, like a hunting dog, because, you know, rolls a guard and... Uh-oh, here we go. The inspiration came to me suddenly, like a flash.
Hold it!
That's okay. You don't have to explain your lyrics anymore. You're the one who asked. I knew I shouldn't have asked. Mr. Understanding, you're still on the stand, so please stick to your testimony. You can explain your lyrics to me later in dumb class. Fine. Have it your way, geezer. The show must go on. Slash and thrash. Me and my girl, innocent and sweet, back by the storeroom, can't be beat.
Hold it!
What exactly were you doing in the music storeroom? There, get the picture? He said at first that he was putting the domino away. Are you now saying you were practicing? Picture? What picture? Mr. Understanding has requested that you not ask him the same thing over and over. Hey, geezer, you got it in one. Take a bow, baby. How the heck did he understand that? What was I doing in the music storeroom, you ask? I already told you. I was taking care of my partner in crime, getting ready to put her away. Let's see, would you believe it? But out went the power, ticket to midnight. Blacker than black is black, robbing all sight.
Hold it!
Incorrect. Not if the thing was glowing. Where were you when the power outage occurred? Like I said, I was in the music storeroom. My girl had been sounding a little off, so I had to get her back in tune. Isn't it true that you were actually in the hallway at the time? The hallway, you say? Why would I be in the hallway? You were waiting for Mr. Roll to come back from his patrol of the treasure room?
Now that he discovered that the treasure had been stolen, you were going to kill him. Lawyer man, just as always, so full of bull. Spewing noxious lies, pulling the wool. Filthy liar through and through. And I ain't never ever gonna forgive you.
Utter lies with no evidence. As always, his claims are just tenuous.
Hey, nice, prosecutor. I'm picking up what you're throwing down. Someone stop their jam session.
Please.
You've made your assertions clear, defense, but your argument is rather unsubstantiated.
That's not good. What's so funny, peace-loving understanding? Nevertheless, the possibility is still there. You can't deny the witness could have killed the victim under cover of darkness.
Objection!
You're forgetting one very important thing.
Huh?
It seems you've forgotten that the outage happened by chance, not design.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right. I did forget about that.
It's not like the witness planned the outage so that he could take advantage of the darkness. And without darkness, it would have been hard to sneak up behind Mr. Roll and kill him.
You're right. Even I would notice someone coming up behind me. Well, defense, what do you have to say about that?
What can I say about that?
Mr. Wright, your claim is completely without merit. Unless you want to argue the witness somehow magically made the outage happen.
Or that it couldn't have been dark? Well, maybe not magically, but... Wait, that's it. I contend the witness could have made the power outage happen. With no magic necessary.
What?
You have a theory, defense?
All he had to do was make use of something shown on this diagram. The breakers. What did the witness use to make the power outage happen? The breakers.
Take that!
The witness was in the storeroom. The circuit box is on the storeroom end of the hallway. There's nothing really magical about turning off the breaker, wouldn't you say?
Nice try, but that theory doesn't hold water, lawyer man.
And why not?
You're saying I turned the breaker off and then snuck up on Mr. Roll and hit him? In pitch black darkness, with no source of light whatsoever? Is that what you're saying?
No.
With the lights off, the hallway's blacker than 100 midnights. You can't see the hand in front of your face. How could anybody commit murder like that? Unless there's somebody standing right in front of the victim, like the accused.
I hate when he's right. But I can't just let his point stand. Well, maybe the victim was holding something that served as a guide.
Guide through the darkness?
Something. And that's more than a little vague, wouldn't you agree?
You ain't gonna move this room with a half-baked hunch like that, bro. You gotta hit him hard, really make him feel it, you hear me? Just like my verse, baby. Woo! Well, I'm afraid I don't understand the witness's lyrics very well either. But in a trial, your arguments have to be clear and precise. Let's see some of that clarity and precision now, defense.
Uh-oh. What do I do?
Can you present with something that could have served as a guide through the darkness? I can.
Yes, I can. Because there has to be something.
All right, let's see what you have, defense.
What could the victim have been holding that served as a guide through the darkness? The treasure box.
Take that!
I believe the victim was holding the treasure box.
Ah,
Huh?
have you gone mad?
Well, the box glows in the dark, so you could use it as a sort of beacon.
Well, I guess you're right.
But why in the world would the victim be holding the treasure box?
Oh, well, because your guess is as good as mine.
What is this lawyer talking about?
Nonsense and lies yet again.
Just give him the death penalty already.
Is there no way to win them over?
Defense. Are we going to be needing those tongue shears after all?
No, your majesty.
Yeah, man. Do it. Do it. Then we can jam out to these lawyers' shrieks of pain. Better get those screams of agony out now, lawyer man. While you still have a tongue to scream with.
You don't scream through your tongue. I guess I'd better come up with a reason. But no pressure or anything. Tongues are for contents. And some other purposes. As to why the victim was holding a treasure box, it can easily be explained as thus. Brain, don't fail me now. What reason could the victim possibly have had to be holding that treasure box? The victim was holding the treasure box because he was the thief, a security guard, a devout believer. I mean, okay, you're baby stepping this through for me. I mean, this being a security guard is not a reason to hold the treasure box. Being a devout believer is definitely not one because you shouldn't be involved. If you were actually the thief, it's an idea I just happened to stumble upon. But I think it just might be the answer. And it would turn this whole trial upside down.
Hello, defense. Are you still with us? Let's hear this easy explanation you promised.
Isn't it possible that it was because the victim himself was the thief?
The victim?
The thief?
What kind of bull are you spewing now? Your Majesty, this guy's off his rocker.
If the victim was the thief, everything we've learned so far would all make sense. And it would give us a completely new way to interpret the victim's actions. After the morning dance of devotion, Mr. Roll went to the treasure room. He grabbed the box that contained the treasure and started to take off with it. But then he ran into Albie on the great stairs. That's why Mr. Roll pulled his gun on Albie. Then, when the blackout occurred, Mr. Roll was bludgeoned to death in the darkness. What darkness? This explains why the victim would be holding the glowing treasure box in the dark, and how it would have been possible for someone other than the accused to kill him.
Do you have any idea what you're saying?
Well, that the head monk was doing it to stop a thief, which is almost probably allowable in this country's laws. Who knows? You're unbelievable, lawyer man. I think you've lost it. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Trying to roll the temple. That devout believer,
that pious Kurainist. I won't allow you to disparage the victim's departed soul with unfounded allegations. I hope you're prepared to back up your claim. Of course, Your Majesty.
Oh, really? In that case, can we assume you have proof?
I guess I better find it. When the butterfly embraces the Mitama, is that a description of the box itself? When you are the favor of the orb. Okay, conclusion. Alright, so what indicators show that the gentleman was killed for this purpose? I mean, okay, Albie did see his face, the guy's face covered. And that is suspicious for someone who's always there. Bark, bark, bark. Also, does it look like this box was actually normally opened and not like broken open? I don't know about that. Shutters to be shut. Atomic key. Like, what am I? Are we trying to assert exactly to claim that Roll was the thief? Okay. Do we see him doing anything thiefy in this picture? Other than looking at the crowd with concern, like he's planning something. Clearly, he's planning something. I don't know. Also,
Objection.
Again,
the opposing attorney is too hot and I cannot fight him. Green heart.
Husky, hey, howdy, welcome out. How you been?
More
Boy.
threeing.
Oh, really? In that case, can we assume you have proof?
Been fine.
Well, that's good. Uh-oh. Proof, huh? Do I have any proof? But I can't back down now. Yes, I have proof. In my dreams. The proof that Mr. Roll was the thief may have been left behind on a certain piece of evidence. Very well. Let's see your evidence and be ready to stand behind it. Footprints, fingerprints, I'll take anything at this point. I need proof, something that would have been involved with the theft, and that might still have some trace evidence left on it. What proof do you have that the victim might have been the thief? Okay, so I'm gonna guess this photo, which still has... like there's blood on the thing. Thief. Thiefy info.
Been chilling, looking after new kittens and playing Bloodborne.
Oh ho. I hope that's been going well for you. Okay, I'm gonna go with this. I don't know if that's right. But it's the closest thing I have.
Very well.
Oh wait, no, okay, it's just dark inside the box. I'm like, is that blood inside the box? That's just the, shadow. Well, I'm gonna throw it and probably die, but...
Take that!
the defense would like to examine this piece of evidence.
Would you now? I don't think that piece of evidence will give us any answers.
Whoops. Looks like I got it wrong.
Should have guessed the thing itself, not just the picture. Perhaps you would like to examine this penalty instead.
Okay, don't overthink this, Phoenix. It's gotta be something that might still hold some trace of it being touched.
Oof.
And if the victim was the thief, what's something he would have touched?
I will give you another chance, defense. And this time, show me evidence you can stand behind.
Footprints, fingerprints, I'll take anything at this point. I need proof. Something that would have been involved with the theft. And that might still have some trace evidence left on it.
Right, so the thing has blood, but the thing is, the thing has blood because... Oh. I wonder if that might also have more fingerprints, question mark. Well, no, that wouldn't be relevant. I'm going to say this.
Take that!
The defense would like to examine the treasure box. There might be trace evidence on it that would show the victim had held it.
Might. You'd better hope you turn up something more definitive than that, defense.
Yes, sir, your magistrate.
Very well, bailiff. Bring the treasure box.
Oh. Anime? Not fully.
There you are, defense. You're free to examine it.
So bloody.
A little bit. If I don't find something now, my entire argument up to this point will be blown. Plus, there's that little matter of the old tongue shears. I have to find something. I just have to. Now, to make sure I remember how to do this, I can rotate the evidence with the right stick. I can also use X and B to zoom in and out to get a better look. And if I ever get too turned around, I can always use reset by pressing the right stick to return things to this initial state. I'd better search every inch of this box carefully, and examine anything of interest in detail with the A button. Alright, things to explore like the inside of the back. So this is where the Founder's Orb was, huh? I doubt there's any trace of the orb left here now. Although I don't really know anything about the orb, so who knows? The lid of the box was forced open. But while the victim was holding the box, the lid must have been closed. I'll try closing the lid, too. Ooh. Hey. What? You son of a... You locked it. So? What's the big deal? I thought you could open it with that key you're wearing. Yeah, I can, no sweat. Then why is there a bucket load dripping off of you over there? I think I'd like to open this box back up again. Could you lend me your Mangatama key? Sure. Okay, let's see. Where's the keyhole?
Well, it's the Mangatama key. So wouldn't it go in the hole above the Mangatama mark? No, it wouldn't.
It won't open.
It goes in the square hole.
Would you look at that? The thief must have busted the lock when they forced the box open. Really? Because I'm not so sure about that. Treasure box updated in the court record. The murder weapon. Not even the Mangatama key can open it. Glows in the dark. In any case, I'd better take another good look. I have to find proof that the victim was holding this box. Well, there is all this blood. Separate from whatever side he got bludgeoned with. This blood stain. It shows the outline of a hand. Oh, it does. Could this be what I've been looking for? Yes. Because that's the hand. In other words, the picture, bark, 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 that I tried showing, bark, 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 he got penalized for, bark, bark, bark. Your Majesty, take a look at this.
Haha.
There's a bloodstain here that outlines the shape of a hand. Really? Let me see. Oh my, you're right. Now I'm getting somewhere. I believe the bloodstain is an outline of the victim's hand as he was holding the box. What? Even as he was being struck, he held on tight to the precious treasure box. After all, he'd gone through a lot of trouble to steal it. The blood from his head wound splattered across his hand and onto the box.
Objection!
Your Majesty, don't let yourself be taken in. It's just more of his loyal deceit.
What do you mean?
Mr. Wright, where is your proof that the outline is that of the victim's hand?
What? Should have seen this coming.
Either show proof or prepare to meet the shears. Or you could save us all some time and bite your tongue out now and submit it instead.
That I did not see coming.
Well, depends. How about it? Do you have proof that the outline is of the victim's hand?
So pompous and golden in this game, it seems.
Yeah, he's more decked out than the judge is, so it's like, wow. Where would the proof of something like that even be?
Please submit your evidence this time. What evidence shows that the outline on the treasure box is that of the victim's hand? Now I can show this question back.
Take that!
I've got it. This is the evidence that's going to save my beloved tongue. Mr. Payne, despite your claims about my forked tongue, it just so happens I have the proof you require.
You do?
It's right here in this crime photo.
It is? Where? Defense, please point it out.
What proves that the bloodstained outline on the box is that of the victim's hand, you ask? The blood on the victim's hand, showing the bark.
Take that!
Mr. Payne, take a good look at the victim's hand. See this? That's blood.
What?
If we place Mr. Roll's hand inside the bloody outline...
You think the blood on his hand would complete the splatter?
Exactly. Here goes nothing. And if they do form one complete splatter, it would prove my theory correct.
Then, the victim really was holding the box.
I'm willing to bet my life on it. In fact, I already have. The defense reasserts that the victim was the thief who stole the treasure box.
You can't be serious. I protest. There's no way they would ever match up. I assert that it's patently impossible for...
Talk about tongue karma. Sounds like he just bit his. What's the matter, Mr. Payne? Did your forked tongue get tangled up in there? Or were you trying to submit your own tongue to the court?
Why, you...
I can hardly believe it. Apparently not everything out of the fence's mouth is a bluff.
Of course not, Your Majesty. This tongue doesn't lie. It says many incompetent things, but it doesn't lie. And I'd like to continue to use my tongue in the future, if you wouldn't mind. Maybe we'll have a nice night out. Never has to know it really was a bluff.
No, not Mr. Roll. I can't believe it.
I'm sorry, Albie. I know it's upsetting news. He must have needed the money badly, probably to support his family. After all, he even gave up his dream of becoming a monk to help them.
Oh, so that thing Mr. Roll would say to me? Albie, you train hard and make sure you become a monk one day? Don't end up like me, he'd say?
Yeah, he was probably warning you not to end up a thief.
Mr. Roll.
Objection!
Now, wait just 1 minute. If the victim was the thief, and he was holding the treasure box, then that means Mr. Roll was holding the murder weapon when he was killed.
Oh. Well, that's a very good point. It doesn't make much sense, does it?
Objection!
If the victim was holding the treasure box, it couldn't have been the murder weapon. Which means that the real murder weapon must have been something else.
The real murder weapon?
Was something else?
The blood was thought to have gotten on the box when the box was used as a weapon. But it turns out that wasn't the case. The blood splattered onto the treasure box the victim was holding. When he was struck with the real weapon, that's what really happened. Isn't that right, Mr. Understanding?
Are you insinuating I'm the one who used this real weapon?
Are you saying I'm wrong in my understanding?
You got me riled up, lawyer man. I feel a song coming on. Looking for a weapon that just don't exist. Pathetic lawyer man. Drop into the abyss. Despicable lawyer man, yo, you make me sick. You can disappear, just like a magic trick. Worthless lawyer man, done in by a weapon. For you miserable wretch, hell doth beckon.
This the point they usually go nuts.
There you go. I know I don't need to remind you, defense, that your life is on the line.
I know, Your Majesty.
Yet you're prepared to risk it on this mere idea of a real murder weapon? Dare to the lawyer.
This is it, the moment of truth. I can't back down, not now. Yes, Your Majesty, I am. I'm confident the real murder weapon does indeed exist.
And that's a bold claim, Mr. Wright. Now let's see you back it up. Show us which piece of evidence points to this real murder weapon.
Gladly. If I knew which one it was.
Heck, I mean, it could be the notice, but we'll probably tell. Could be the gun. one. Here we go. Cerebral conclusion. Did he die because she kicked him in the head from the dance? They happen. If I knew which one it was, what would somebody like understanding use to bludgeon someone? Now then, defense. Please submit your evidence to the court. Yeah, let's see it, loyal man. Let's see this thing shows the real murder weapon you say I used. You know what we're gonna do? We're going to pay attention to the fact that we're over time and we're gonna call it for the night. You'll have to tune in next time for more Spirit of Justice. Oh, good heck.